Hello, in this video we take a look at the PointClone script for trueSpace. Requires a persistent base install. Okay, I already have this downloaded from the website. To install it, just take the script and drag it into the link editor. And the PointClone is installed. I'm going to delete the installer and create a little bit of geometry. Create a plane, give it some divisions. Oops, be a little bit less. Something like that should be good. Make it double-sided so I can see both sides. And I'm going to edit this and give it a little bit of shape. And I'm going to rotate it a little bit. Okay, now to create some clone shapes, I'm going to use a cone. Torus. And a cylinder. I'm choosing these shapes because I can make them have a little gap in them so I can see the rotations a little bit better. Oops, nope, don't want to go into point edit mode. No need for that. I do want to make that a little smaller. Okay. First step is to select the item that's to be cloned. I'm going to select all three of these items. And then click on the button for point clone. I'm just going to take the defaults as they are, tell it to start clone. It asks me to select a destination mesh, and I want to select the plane. And what it does is it randomly chooses among the three items and puts them at each of the points of the mesh. Now they're a little bit low because that's where the default pivot of these objects are. So I'm going to go ahead and change the pivot. First, I'm going to delete this. Start the axis tool and move the pivots to the near the bottom. So it gives a better result. Now I'll do the same thing. Select all three of these guys. Oops, selected too much. Click on the point clone and just run it again. Oh, that's a bit odd, isn't it? The axis is at the bottom, but it didn't go into the... Okay, I'm going to try it with just one of them. This is interesting and unexpected. Okay, I'm going to stop the video here because something isn't right. And we're back. And I have the effect I wanted. I wanted the bottom of the mesh to line up with the points. of the plane. The problem was that moving the axis isn't good enough. What you have to do is push this button to flatten the axis. Say yes. Now I'll do it on this one as well. Yes. Now when I run through the process, they all live on the surface where I expected them to go before. Okay, now to continue the demonstration, I'm going to just use the cone. And first I'll go through the options at the top. Is the orientation of the copies, of the clones, that defaults to maintaining the source. So whatever the source is doing, in this case it's pointing straight up. When you clone it, it also points straight up. The other option is to target. What this will do is rotate it so that it matches the plane's orientation. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you see now they're all have the same rotation in object space. Okay, I'm going to delete that, do it again, select the cone, and point normal will make it oriented to the normals of the plane mesh. So now they're going all over the place, which is also unexpected. Huh, what a terrible demonstration. Okay, gonna stop the recording. Okay, and back again after solving another problem. In this case, the problem was the plane was two-sided. I changed it. I deleted all the bottom faces. So now when I take the cone, I have it set for point normal, and press the start button, and select the plane. Now they're all rotated with the point normals. Okay. The top numbers, I'm going to click it back to maintain source, the default. Now set the random scale, I'll set the minimum to a small number. I'll leave the maximum, I'll set the maximum to about 2. You can see adjusting these numbers at the top makes all the min-max follow the values. If I wanted to do it individually, I could just change the numbers here. Okay, I'm going to start the clone. And now I have all sorts of different sized cones, varying in scale from 0.376 to 2.125. And the same thing for the rotations. I'm going to click the default button. And again, these top numbers, in this case, I'll change the X rotation. What this will do is it'll go in the positive and minus directions. So if I set it for 45 degrees, it'll be in between negative 45 and positive 45 degrees. I'll take that, start the clone again, and then you have some random rotations in the X direction for each cone. I'll do the same thing for the translation. I'll set the default values again to reset the rotation. I'll put it at plus or minus about 0.75 for each one. Oh, I'll just leave Z at 0. And start the clone, click the target, and now all the meshes aren't lined up exactly with the points of the target mesh because they're offset in translation. And it doesn't have to be a plane shape. If I put in one of these guys, a few more divisions, fewer divisions. This can also be used as a target. I'll select all three again. Point clone. I'm going to set the default values and set it for point normal. And start the clone. And select the mesh. I get all three of those meshes randomly placed on each vertex. Okay, I think, yeah, that's everything to the point clone script. A few bumps here and there, but we got through it. Thanks for listening.